Hello, Namaskar, Vanakkam. My name is Sudhir Sahasranaman and you're watching Study with Sudhir. I find a number of students feeling rather anxious and tense about the English literature and the English language papers. And I'm talking about ICSE Class 10 students. So in this video, I'm going to demystify, nice word, the English literature subject paper for the batch of 2026. I'm going to talk about what you should do, what you should not do, how you should do, when you should do, and why you should do. So it's going to be an important video. So stay with the video till the end. There is a tendency I find, and this I'm talking about the last many years, that most students tend to focus more on subjects like physics, chemistry, biology, history, civics, geography, mathematics, and ignore English literature and language. Now, I have no issues with you focusing on all those subjects. Obviously, they are also equally important. But if you are going to look at English literature, if you're going to look at Julius Caesar 2 days before your quarterly exams, 3 days before your pre-board exams, 4 days before your final board exam, there is a problem because you're taking a huge risk. Because the English marks can boost your overall score, it can completely ruin your overall score as well. So the choice is yours, and I don't think any one of you or your parents want you to take such a huge risk, right? I don't think they want you to make this kind of an error. Now, last year in 2025, I mean in the 24-25, the batch of 25, many of our students scored 100 on 100 in literature. Many of our students scored 99 on 100, 98 on 100. Now, how did they manage to do so? Now, you may think, oh, paper easy hoga, kya tha, bada mushkil nahi tha. Yes, paper was, I would say, on the easier side, I guess because it was the first batch which was taking the exam in Julius Caesar and treasure chest, right? So I think for that reason, the council may have set a comparatively easier paper. Batch of 2026, I would expect that you would get a higher percentage of competency focused questions because you can, look at the previous year's specimen paper, this year's specimen paper, which will come later this year, and last year's PYQs, right? So you have something to fall back on. So I expect your paper to be comparatively, I'm not going to go saying very tough, but comparatively a little more tricky when you are comparing it with 2025. Okay, so the question obviously that we need to look at is how do you prepare for it? What should be a study strategy? The first thing is first understand how to study. I don't know how you studied literature in class 9, Julius Caesar and treasure chest, the first 5 poems and stories and the first 2 acts. I'm going to talk about what you need to do now when you are in class 10. Have you ever gone to your kitchen and peeled an onion? I'm not talking about main rone wali baat nahi kar raha. I'm not talking about tears in your eyes. I'm talking about when you peel an onion, you remove layer by layer, right? That's the approach I want you to take when you're talking specifically about Julius Caesar, and this extends even to the poetry and the stories. What you need to do is to look at the word, that's the first layer. Then look at the line, second layer. Then look at the entire passage. Some of the passages in Julius Caesar are very huge, right? Look at the entire passage to understand the entire passage. That's your third layer. Then understand that passage in the overall context of that scene. Let's say a particular passage from Act 3, Scene 2, right? What is the relevance of that particular passage to the entire scene? Then understand the relevance and the significance of the passage in the overall context of that particular act. And then the final layer, the final peeling will be in the context of the entire play. That kind of a peeling of the onion approach is what you need to have with respect to the poems, even the play and the stories. That's what I would advocate. If you follow this approach, trust me, your thoroughness of understanding will really improve. Okay, many of you keep asking notes though, notes though, notes though. See, some of the short notes are there on the Study with Sudhir Instagram page reels. Okay, you can have a look at it. But what I strongly advise and advocate is taking down your own notes. It really helps. It really helps. I mean, gone are the days when I used to give notes. No longer now. Now, every video is there free of cost on YouTube. All you need to do is to pause, take down the notes, and I explain in a very thorough manner. If you know my style of teaching, I explain in great detail. because I do believe that a summary approach cannot work in ICSE literature. No, it cannot work. If you're going to rely on summary and think that that's going to do a beta par for you, sorry, it may not. Your boat will capsize. Okay, the chances of your boat capsizing are very high. So understand it in detail. It will really help you score 100 on 100. My aim is 100 on 100, nothing less. A 90, according to me, is not, is a mediocre score in literature, because you have the potential to score 100 on 100. So when you have the potential, why would you want to settle for anything less, 10 marks less? Okay, so that's something which you need to do. So if you take down the notes, you read it again, you have a 3-7-15 approach. You read the notes, prepare the notes, everything scene by scene. And I'm not saying pura scene ek din mein karo. No, do 1 page, 1.5 page, 2 pages in a day. No problem. Take your time, but do it thoroughly and revise it after 3 days. Revise it again after a week. Revise it again after 2 weeks. The more times you revise, especially when it comes to Shakespeare, it will help you that much more. So please do this approach, and it won't take much time. If you do only 2 pages in a day, it won't even take that much time, right? So do this, it's going to help you. Now, the other mistake that many of you make is to go by the workbook. Now, obviously, schools prescribe a workbook, nothing wrong with that. But if you're thinking, and many students say workbook ke questions ke answer chahiye, and I've never given that, because those are not the kind of questions that are going to come in your board exam. So what's the point? So only for your homework, you need to do that workbook. But for the purpose of exams, those questions are not going to be of any use. So that's my point. What you need right now, see, many publications release question banks and test papers. Question banks is what you need now, because that will have mind maps, useful questions, notes, explanation, question answers of the MCQ and the long format type. That's what you need. So what I am suggesting, this is of course the treasure chest book, which is going to be your absolute must. Similarly, the Julius Caesar, whichever edition you follow. What you need for a question bank is this. The best in the market. Every year I look at this. Last year I had recommended 2 books. This year I am recommending only Oswald books with the AA. The reason for this is it has everything that you need. The question bank. Test papers will come only later in the year. Okay, after the ICSE Council releases its specimen paper. What this will help you is to give you explanation in addition to my videos, notes which will be there. Okay, in addition to whatever you write, because the more comprehensive you get, the better it is, and a whole lot of questions, and the 2025 paper. So all those things, so it will give you a very clear direction in which you need to go. And why I'm saying this with a lot of confidence, I've just finished my essays and letters and notice and email book is published by Oswald Books. That's not the reason why I'm recommending that. Because I worked very closely with their editorial and design and publishing team, I know exactly how they work. And they work, I have all admiration for the way they work, because it goes through some 3 to 4 layers of editing. It goes through 3 layers of proofreading. There is an entire team of designers who work on it to ensure that there are no mistakes. It is of the highest possible standard. If you read my essays book, which will come later this week, you will know what I'm talking about. It is such high standards being set, so I like that. I like that kind of professionalism. Ye nahi ki mistake hai, chalta hai, wo sab chalta hai. No, there's no chalta hai attitude out here. And every book, this is literature. Similarly for physics, a physics teacher will not do the biology paper. A biology teacher will not set the geography paper. Everything is done by subject experts. So that makes a huge difference again, right? I can't say, tomorrow if I go and tell them, I want to do a commerce ka book, they'll say, no, sorry, sir, you're not a commerce teacher, right? So that makes a huge difference. So invest in this book. You can also use my author coupon code for you, so that you get an additional discount. It's called Sudhir 10, SUDHIR10. You use it on the oswaldbooks.com, not on Amazon, oswaldbooks.com website. You will get an additional discount, entirely up to you. Okay, this is for all the students that I have. Okay, and even in this question bank, scribble points on the side, make it your own, make it dirty, but own it. The more you own it, February 2026 tak is book ki halat khasta ho jani chahiye. That should be your aim. Okay, so that's what you need to do. Now, The other thing is summaries. I had already told you, please don't go by a summary approach because it's like watching cricket match on TV. Surya Kumar Yadav या ऋषभ पंत लेट के मारता है, you think कितना easy है. You try doing it on your own, नहीं होता है. Summary approach भी वैसा है. Summary सुनो तो लगता है कि अरे haunted houses is such an easy poem. You read haunted houses and you know how much of a complex poem it is, right? So I remember spending so much time preparing for it, researching for it, preparing and understanding it in the first place. Now, as I said, treasure chest poems are complex, especially poems like The Power of Music or Haunted Houses. So every poem, please ensure that you understand it at a literal level, understand it at a metaphorical level. Please ensure that. Only when you understand both will you be able to solve both the MCQs, especially the MCQs which come of the analysis or the understanding or the application kind. Will I release my own test papers? Maybe towards the end of the academic year, closer to your board examinations, because I don't see the point of doing it so early in the academic year. Okay. The app has been discontinued, so please don't send me messages in the app. I'm not seeing them anymore. When you study, this last point is very important. When you study, please focus on the why and the how. Just like you ask those questions in a subject like physics or geography. Why and how? That's very important. Why does Caesar behave in a particular way in a particular scene? Why does Martin feel scared in the elevator? Understand the character of the mite in a considerable spec. Understand why does the lady behave in a particular way in the glove and the lion. So the why and the how becomes very important. Now, the question and answers, how do you write? Write to the point. You don't need to write too much. The council does not want you to write a tome. Write to the point. What is asked in the question, write that. But when you write that, ensure that you are attacking the question from every possible angle. That's what the council expects you to do. Again, if you see my videos, I had done some revision videos also last year. You can see that also. We will do it, of course, closer to the board examinations. Besides that, of course, this question bank will really be of help. So this is what is my Guru Mantra as far as ICSE Class 10 English Literature paper is concerned. I wish you all the best and I do hope you'll be able to implement most of the points that I've told you. Peeling the onion is important. Okay, प्याज को काटने की बात नहीं कर रहा, प्याज को छीलने की बात कर रहा. Okay, so have that onion approach to English literature. Make your notes, get this question bank and ensure that you make full of use of it. If it's going to be just kept in the cupboard as a decoration piece, don't waste your parents' money. Okay, and use the coupon code so that you can save some money for your parents. It's their hard-earned money. Don't waste it. Okay, thank you very much. Tata, bye-bye. Namaskar.